Hey, it's Ken Finnan at Capital Advantage Tutoring. Welcome to the Thursday night edition of The Bachelor. Okay, we're doing the Series 7 tonight, the SIE, the Series 6, the Series 24 if you want, the 63, 65, 66, all of them. So again, if you want to pass the Series 7 or the SIE exam, come in and join. I see some good news on there. I'll get to that. I got to do the shameless plug. So if you want some free resources, you got me, the best ever. You have Brandon Rith and you have Dean Tinney over on deantinney.com. And Brandon Rith is at Basic Wisdom. Okay. You got my Achievable. You can do it on here. You got SDC. You got a 15% discount. And if you want free books, hit the Kindle and you get a free 30-day Kindle Unlimited. Good stuff. Okay. If you need tutoring, come out to me. Go to series7exam.org. And as Alicia, as I always make fun of her now because it's such a fun thing, if you can't afford my lessons, go find Michael Weiss at series7examtutor.com. Okay. Other than that, I think we're good to go. So again, if you want to take the Series 7 or the SIE exam, jump on here. I've been pushing. I told a couple people on Facebook. Hopefully they'll come on here. Hopefully Bonnie got on here and a couple other people. Okay. Michael, how are you? So Taha, that is awesome. Matt, that's great. Matt, Mandy, how are you? Alicia, Helen, Cassandra, Ruben, how are you? Awesome. Lisa and Bonnie, there you go. So Taha, congratulations. I don't know how to say your last name, so I'm just going to go Taha. I'm happy you passed. I'm happy my stuff helped you pass. And now, Trish, how are you? And then we got, and now you're down to one, right? You should be down to one test, 63 or 66. I love it. Okay. Okay, Alicia, yeah, back chapter 12. It's a big one. Chapter 12 is a big one. If you watch my quick and dirty one, I should put a link here one time. The 66 quick and dirty should help you a little bit with that. Okay. Bianca, boom. I love it. Congratulations. Georgiana, how are you? We're down to the wire here. Okay. Alex, working on the 6. Good. So the SIE usually is a little harder than the 6 for some people because it covers so many topics. The 6 isn't super easy, but it's there. Okay. So Jessica, it's tomorrow. You should focus on sleep tonight. But if you really want to go over stuff, which I think you should just relax tonight, is maybe make sure you go over the communications as a quick hitter. Mutual funds and annuities, you got to know them, and then know some taxes. I got a couple of people out here have taken the 6. Maybe they have. Okay. Michael Santana, how are you? Ruben, yeah. Did you see a lot of suitability on that, Ruben? This is the thing. If you watch, I think the content outline says there's only a couple questions, and then the last 3 students said they saw suitability on the 6. It's crazy. Oh, somebody got a crazy question on tax equivalent yield. If you go my bond math, it should help you. But tax equivalent yield is if it's a corporate, you multiply the yield. Yeah, I know. For the 6, I get it. I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised. Yeah, but still, because somebody said 2, still 6 is more than 10% of the test, right? Because 50 questions. So if you want to do tax equivalent yield on a bond for the 7 and the 6, okay. Yes, Bonnie, I can do that one. So what was I going to say? So tax equivalent yield is if you have a corporate bond, you want to find out what the tax-free equivalent is. You're going to take the yield and multiply it 100 minus the tax bracket. I call it the opposite of it. So if you're in the 30%, tax bracket, okay? If you're in the 30% tax bracket, then you're bringing home 70%. So I would do your yield times 70%. If it's a muni, I do the opposite. I do the same thing. I do 100 minus the tax bracket, and I do the muni divided. So remember, multiply the corporate, divide the muni for the Series 6, for the 7, for the SIE. If you see a tax equivalent yield, you do. If it's a corporate bond, you multiply times 100 minus the tax bracket, and if it's a muni, you divide. Lily, come on, don't be scared. Did you get the SIE done, Lily? I mean, are you doing? I mean, I hope they're not making you change tests all the time. Okay, so let me get to this. So Cassandra, I'll hit you in a second. Now, investors who are bullish. So bullish means you want it to go up. Okay, so bullish means you want it to go up. Bearish means you want it to go down. So if you're bullish, okay. Matt, yes, somebody said they saw a tax equivalent yield I think on Friday or Saturday, they said they saw a tax equivalent yield on the 6, which is crazy. Okay. Oh, you did? Lily, I think I never understood that when, okay. I know. Yeah, you did. I do remember that. Yes, I do remember. Sorry. I do remember that. So that's done. Insurance, don't worry about the insurance. Because if you miss it, you can always just take it again the next day. I forgot. I do remember you nailed them all down. Okay. See, I go nuts. Okay. So Bonnie, if someone's bullish, it means we want it to go up. So think about it. If I buy a call, I have the right to buy stock. So I'd love for the stock to go up so I can still buy it at the lower price. So if you're taking the SIE, it's not that important. Just knowing that buy of a call and sell of a put is bullish. So bullish means up. So if I buy a 50 call at 3, I want the stock to go up above 53 because I want to be able to buy it at 50 and sell it at 60, 70, 80, whatever it is. If I sell a put, no, let's do buy a put. So if I buy a put, I have the right to sell it. So I want to be able to sell it at 50, even though it's at 40, 30, 20, 10. And I can make money on the difference because if I have the right to sell 100 shares at 50 and the stock goes to 30, well, I could just buy it at 30 and immediately sell it at 50 and make the 20 points. And the lower it goes, the more I make. So now on the other side of this, if I sell a call, I have to sell the stock if it goes up. So I'm hoping the stock goes down and the person who owns the option won't use it. I have a bunch of videos on this, but if you sell a call, you sell a 50 call at 3, you got the premium in your pocket. You're hoping the stock goes down, so the buyer go, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And then the option expires and you keep the money. Same thing on a put. You sell a put. The buyer of the put, remember, so buy a call, sell a call are two sides of one contract. Again, 4 options for the SIE, for the 7. For the 7 and the SIE, options are two. So buy a call, sell a call is 2 sides of the same contract. And puts or buy put, sell a put are 2 sides of the same contract. Okay. Okay. Joe, look at you. So now I'm going to show you a way to do this. Okay. So now, because everything's always on the break even, but I will get to that. Cassandra, you're next. So if I sell a put, the buyer of a put wants to go down. So the seller of the put hopes the stock goes up. So it will expire and the option will expire and they keep the money. Hope that helps a little bit. Okay. Bianca, I just did this the other night for Georgiana. I will do it again. You know what? Georgiana, this is your homework. I want you to come on and try to explain opening, closing. I will finish it up, but I want to see if you can do it because I told you, and you're taking the test very soon. I want to see if you can explain it. Simple, simple, simple. Okay. So now, Cassandra, Helen, no, you may need to, no, you will not need to know the Greeks. Delta, no, for the 3 you will, but not for the 6. Okay. So Cassandra, can I dissect the question? An investor with no other positions sells an ABC 84 call at 725. Okay. The call is exercised when the stock is trading at 87. What's the investor's profit or loss? So first things first, always find the fucking break even. Okay. So I'm going to find the break even. Where is my calculator? So if the call, it's always strike plus. So I'm going to do 84 plus 7.25. That gives me $91.25 break even. Okay. So that's my break even. Now, if I sell a put, if I sell a call, I'm bearish. So I want it to be below that number. I want it below 91.25. So anything below 90.25 is a gain. Anything above is a loss. Okay. Now, if it goes, so where did it go? It went to 87. So I will lose. Let's see. So, what did I do? 84 plus 7.25 equals 91.25 minus 87. That should be $4.25 of profit. So everything's on the break even. For options and stuff, it's easier in the videos I do. And if you're taking the SIE, don't worry about it too much. So just find the break even and find out where it is compared to that. And there's more to it, but I can do it the other way Joe said. So if you sell an 84 call at 720, it's 725. Okay. That means you're going to have to sell the stock at 84 and then you're going to go buy it at 87. So you lose 3 because remember, if you sell a call for the 7 and the SIE, if you sell a call, if it's exercised, you have to sell the stock at the strike. So you're going to sell it at 84 and then you're going to have to go buy it at 87. So you lose $3, but you have $7.25 in your pocket already. So you mesh them and you get $4.25 profit. So that's why when I say to sell the 84 call at 725, you will make money anywhere below 91.25 because if it goes up, you keep losing money as it goes up. You're making less and less until you've lost enough that you're offsetting the premium that you received. So anything above 91.25 is a loss, because you say it went to 90, say it went to 94. You would lose $10 on the option, but you have $7.25 in your pocket from the premium. You make $2.75. Hope that helps a little bit. Okay. Lily, you're going to be fine in the insurance. Seriously. Okay. 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 So I'm going to, Georgiana, good job. So now I'm going to help you a little bit. So now, Cassandra, hope that helped. Bonnie, I hope that helped a little bit. Okay. So Bianca. So when you start an option position, it's always opening followed by closing. I think Joe said that too. Opening is how you start. Closing is how you end. Okay. Oh, so if you buy an option for the first time, it's a buy. So if the first thing, it's an opening buy. Now, so now on the next end of it, if you want to get rid of it, you're going to close out the position. So it's a closing sale. So opening, when you buy an option for the first time, it's an opening buy. And then when you liquidate it, it's a closing sale. If you sell an option for the first time, that's an opening sale followed by a closing buy. So an opening sale followed by a closing buy. So it always goes this way. Hey, first thing is open, second thing is close. So it's open first, then close. It's never the other way around. So if you see a writer of a call closes out his position, well, the writer is an opening sale and they buy it back by closing. Writer is an opening sale followed by closing. So it's always opening, then closing. Okay. Okay, Helen again. Bianca, hope that helps. Do not worry about the deltas. So delta, gamma, theta, those are for like option traders. Even though when I took the 4, I didn't even have to do that. Okay. Delta, just understand, delta is how much an option moves compared to the stock price. So if you have a 40 delta and the stock moves $1, you'll go 40% of that, which is 40 cents. If the stock goes $2, you'll move 80 cents. It's just the delta is just what percentage the option moves compared to the stock price. And the closer it gets in the money, the higher the delta is. Okay. But you will not have to do that, even though I just ramped on it. Okay. Okay. For accrued interest on corporate immunities, we say 3360. So a question. So Jan 1 to Jan 31st, I said 31 days. For treasuries, it will be 31. Okay. I think they only did that because it's the first month, because it's actual. So it's always in corporates and munis is always 3360. But you have to, whatever's in the month, you have to count. So if you settled on the 31, it's going to be 31 days. So the first month could be more than the 30, but just remember. So if you buy a bond on May 10th and it's a J&J bond, January and July bond, not Johnson & Johnson, shot, J&J. If you buy a corporate immunity on Monday, May 10th, it settles on the 12th, which means you count to the 11th. That's 11 days in May. Then you start January, February, March, April. 30 days each month. That's 120 plus 11, 131 days. Okay. 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 Lisa, you're gonna rock this. Okay. You're gonna rock this SIE. I promise you. Okay. Look at this. So Alicia, yeah. So Taha, maybe you guys can talk to each other. I think Bonnie and a couple of people may have started the SIE group. I don't know if it even happened yet, but I'm hoping Cassandra and Bonnie hooked up, and then I did add another person. I sent another person's email to your group. Hopefully they joined it. Okay. So Alicia, okay. There's your Johnny and nailed it. Okay. So anyone doing this 66 cut, reach out to each other. Try to get hey, Michael, I think I knew that. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. So yeah. So Michael, if you're using Kaplan, oh good. I'm glad it helped, Bianca. Michael, if you do, I'll go back up a little. If you're going for the insurance, I would say if you don't have Kaplan, they're probably fine. Like if you have Kaplan already, then you're good to go. If you have another one, I think Kaplan does it. I think SEC might do it also. I don't know. I haven't looked into this stuff. I'm not heavy on the insurance stuff. Probably a good place to go for this. But I would say go to Kaplan or STC. And I guess in a pinch, you could go to ExamFX or Exam Zone or something. But if you have Kaplan or one of the main, like Kaplan STC or I guess that's kind of it. You'll probably be fine on the insurance. Okay. So a QDRO. Okay. So here's what happens. Is Elisa's asking what a QDRO is. So let's say you and your husband, you've been married for a while. You and Caleb, I'm kidding. Been married for a while. Let's see if he logs in, if he heard me talking about him. So this would be on the 6. This could be on the 7 or the Series 66. I don't know that it'll be on the 66. I mean, on the 6, but it could be. If you're married and you've been living together for a while, whatever it is, and now something happens where you get divorced, whatever. Well, you have a 401k, that's kind of both of your money. So what happens is you'll go to court, and the court will decide how, through a QDRO, will tell the broker dealer how much has to be withdrawn to give into the husband or wife, whoever is not the account. So let's say I have a 401k, say it's at Fidelity, and I get divorced after 30 years or whatever, and they say, okay, you have to give half your 401k to your wife or your husband. So the QDRO will specify how much has to go where, and it's the only way to really take money out of a 401k and put it into another one without paying taxes. Okay, hope that helps. Okay. Oh, there you go. Anyone else doing the 66? Yeah, Ruben, maybe talk to Taha also. Okay. Good. Okay, I'm glad that helps. Okay. So that's true. Okay. Ooh, that's a great question, Georgiana. Hold on. Among the items shown in a customer confirmation for a bond transaction is the amount of the accrued interest. Yes. Okay. The amount of accrued interest is okay. So now think about this. So added to the buyer's confirmation and added on the sellers. It should be. I think it's going to be A, because think about it. So if you buy a bond at 108 plus accrued interest, Georgiana. Okay. So the question here is what shows up on the confirmation as far as accrued interest. So they're asking, is it plus to the buyer add, to the seller add? But think about this. It's actually costing the buyer more and the seller's getting more. So I would think it's adding to both. Because if you buy a bond at 108 and say there's $20 of accrued interest, you're paying 108 plus 20. And if you sell it, you're getting 108 plus 20. So I think it's added to both, Georgiana. I think the unless I'm reading it wrong, I would think the confirmation would show the accrued interest adding to both. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. I hope it went well. Okay, Michael, AD Banker. You know I don't like them. Kalisa, Eric, how are you? I love that. Thanks for the TikTok video, Kalisa. I love that. Bonnie and Cassandra, you're getting that. I love it. If I add anyone else, I hope it went well. Let me know how it goes. Shoot me an email if you don't want to put it on here. Tell me how it went for the SIE. Okay. Yep, exactly. Bo. Okay, so let's talk about that. So Lisa, you're gonna be fine. Get the essay and 7 down. This is what I tell everyone. Okay, this is what I oh, hold on. There you go, Matt. Shoot me an email. I'll send it over to Cassandra, and I think Cassandra's taking it tomorrow. And Bonnie, I think she's taking it a couple weeks. Anyone doing the SIE, maybe send an email to me, and then I'll shoot it over to them. Even if Cassandra passes and goes out, this way there's more people helping out. Okay. But always remember, you have to think when you're doing the group, it's a group. So no one takes it over, right? You got to make sure that we're all being, fair. Okay. So yeah, Lisa, first job is get the SIE one beast at a time, right? You do the SIE. Then when you're done with that, you worry about the 7. Then you worry about the 66. One beast at a time. Okay. Now, so Bo, so let's talk about this. So what are the 3 types of mutual funds, right? So there's Class A, Class B, and Class C. Mm-hmm. Class A means you're paying the sales charge up front, and you have very low 12B1 fees. Class B means it's called the CDSC, Contingent Deferred Sales Charge, which means you're paying on the back end, and it's lowering. That's not really good for long term. A is better for long term and a lot of money because you get break points. Remember, sales loads or sales charges, that's what it costs. That's like a cover charge for a bar. Now, Class C means there's no real sales charge. It's very low, but then there's a high 12B1 fee every year. So Class C is much better for short term. B is for as a back end for medium term, and A is better for long term, a lot of money, because on the Series 7 and the SIE, you will get you could get questions on that. Now, yes, the 12B1 fee. Okay. Trish, I want to talk about that for a second. So the 12B1 fee is an annual fee for marketing and advertising. It's not part of the sales charge, but it is part of the expense ratio. They use it to bring in more investors to supposedly lower the expense ratio. Because remember, we're sharing the expenses, and the more people sharing the expenses, the less it costs each one of us. So that's why they're doing that. So the 12B1 fee is an annual fee that's charged for sales and for advertising and marketing. It is not part of the sales charge. The manager doesn't get it. It's used to either give rebates or trailing commissions or advertising. Class A has very low ones. Class B has medium size, and C kind of has high sales charges. Okay, so Trish, I'm about to be the bearer of sort of bad news anecdotally. I don't know that it's true. A lot of people who took the test a second time, they felt they were ready, and then they felt that the number 2 was harder, more complicated. Okay, they pretty much for the most part passed. Okay, but they all were like, wow, if I had taken the first one and I know what I know now, I would have destroyed it. So you have to make sure that you kind of over prepare for number 2. But to be fair, I'm not saying this is going to be okay, but if you did miss, anyone going in for the third time, it seems to be closer to number 1. So remember, and Trish, I'm not saying that to scare you, because I have a lot of students who took the first one they missed, they come to me and then they fucking destroy. They go, oh my God, I felt like I didn't get any wrong on the second one. So I'm just saying the last 1 or 2 said it was hard. So you're better off preparing like it's going to be an ass kicker. And then if it's not, you're pleasantly surprised, right? So if the second attempt on the Series 7, you should act like you're going to get your ass kicked so that you can study harder, and then you're more ready for it. Don't think it's going to be the same test. That's the one thing. It most likely will be a little bit harder, but if you've studied right, you know more. Okay? Okay, so you need to know that what is an HSA? What is an HSA? Okay? So what do you know about it? Okay. So the whole point of an HSA is to put pre-tax dollars away for medical expenses. Okay. You can put it in mutual funds. You can do stuff like that. That's the big thing. It's usually for a high deductible plan. Okay. So if you have a plan that's a high deductible, it's called an HD deductible plan, to where they don't pay anything until you hit a high number. So you can put money aside tax-free, and you can pay for dental, medical, vision, all the prescription stuff like that. Okay. Now, if I have to remember, I'm trying to remember if I can do this. I have to remember if I have to remember if you don't use it, the FSA always screws me up. Okay. We'll have to come back to that one. I'm trying to remember if the HSA can be rolled into the next year or the FSA. I have to think about that for a second. But for the most part, it's for medical. It's for medical stuff that you can put money in aside out of your paycheck, pre-tax, and there's some limits like $4 or $5 grand. But that's what it's for. I have to remember if the HSA can be rolled over or the FSA can. I can't remember. It's just a brain block for me every time. Okay, but HSA. Remember that HSA is for high deductible plans. Okay. Kalisa, okay. Yes, Kalisa, there will be at least 20 to 30. Good, Joe. I appreciate that. That you say that there's not a lot of 12B1 stuff on there. There'll be a couple, but not crazy. Okay. Kalisa, there will absolutely be 15 to 20 option questions on the Series 7. Okay. Bianca, don't worry. You're taking a Tuesday, right? So let me catch up. I don't want to go out of order. If in May and November, one corporate bond issued at par with 6% coupon is later purchased in August for 97 plus accrued interest if it's 16. You won't get that question. So Rachel, that's a Notman or a past perfect question where they want you to figure out what happens if you buy it in the middle. They're not doing that to you. Okay. And if they do, it's a pretest one. Okay. The reason I'm saying that is that they're not trying to make sure you can do this fucking algebra. They want to make sure you understand what accrued interest is, not every little tax thing of it. Okay. Because think about it. They're saying you buy it here, and then at the end of the year, I've done all this math years ago. I used to do it. I used to teach this stuff, and it was just a pain in the ass because you had to go through this whole formula. And then every one of my students said I never saw a question on it. In 10 years, I haven't had one student say the accrued interest was hard. Okay. So it's more about just figuring out what it is per the month. They're not going to ask you what the taxable interest is because it carries over from one year to the other. Do not worry about that. They're not going to ask you that. Now, Bianca, don't worry. Have you been reading? Have you been watching my videos? Have you been passing exams? You know what it looks like. You know what it looks like. You know it. So that's the big thing is you do know what it looks like. Okay. So that's going to help you. So now you know what to expect. So I would make sure you keep reading if you take it next week. Make sure you know the risks. Make sure you know all the FINRA rules and the money laundering stuff, and just make sure you understand what each product is because it's much more definitional. But I bet you're much more ready now than the last time. Don't let this get in your head. Okay, promise me you're not going to let this shit get in your head. Don't get in there. Okay, Cassandra, we got this, right? I hope you studied your room well. You got this. So you're going to nail this. As long as you're scoring, you're passing between achievable, STC, or Kaplan. As long as you're passing, you're going to be fine. Watch, and if you're not sure, watch my SIE, the book videos. That should help you a little bit. Explain some stuff. Okay. Okay. Right. That's what I thought, Joe. Okay. It's just the difference between front and back load and no load. Remember, a no load. Okay. Right. I agree. Kalisa, we're gonna nail this. Okay, we're gonna nail this, Kalisa. Okay. So now, right. So remember that. Keep in mind, it's knowing the difference between it, front end, back end, no load. Remember, a no load can charge a 12B1 fee, but it has to be small. So for the Series 7, for the SIE, they might ask, or even for the 63 and 66, I heard this, they might ask what a no load is. A no load means no sales charge, but it might have a 12B. It can have a 12B1 fee up to 0.25%, or in their words, 25 basis points. Okay. Did no, Kalisa, we're gonna get the options. We're gonna Kalisa, we're gonna nail those options. Okay, I promise you. Okay, it takes a little couple weeks, but we're gonna get them. Did 7 have a lot of minis? You mean munis, right? Yeah. Here's the thing. Everyone can answer this on their own, but I'm telling you, I don't think the munis is this super detaily nitty-gritty shit. It's much more about the qualities of them, the different types, and the suitability and the tax thing. It's not like every little detail about what's on the official statement. They may ask what an official statement is, but I don't think, and when you have to deliver it, but I don't think, which is at or prior to solicitation, I don't think that they're going to go in heavy into every little mini detail of it. Okay. Tough question. Georgiana, who you get? Okay. Yeah, but Joe, okay, I'll hit Georgiana's in a second. So, Joe, it may be your nemesis right now, but because the vendors ask, like, almost like the option stuff, they ask ridiculous muni questions sometimes where it's like, I don't even know this shit. Like I tell everyone, I took the 10 exams right before the split. I took the 7 and the 66. I got like one run wrong on each of them. And I'm lucky if I get above mid 80s, high 80s on this STC. Well, it's STC now, but Kaplan and Pass Perfect. If I'm in the high 80s, I'm super happy. Okay. So let me go this. So an investor is holding shares of several funds from a studious fund family has opted for a fixed dollar withdrawal plan to supplement her income. So she's getting the same amount of money every time. Okay. So the answer should be B. So this is our question. As an investor holding shares of several funds from the CDS fund family, I kept looking at credit default swap, and that's why I kept screaming up, has opted for a fixed dollar withdrawal plan to supplement her income. Okay. Each month. With this type of withdrawal plan, the amount received each month. Remember, it could be more or less. It could be more or less because you're taking. So if the fund, say you take out $5,000 a year, but the fund earns $4,000 or it earns $6,000. So the amount you take out is a fixed dollar amount. That could be more or less than the funds than what you're earning in the fund. Because say you're just, again, let's say you're taking out 10 grand a year, and it earns 11,000 one year and then 6,000 next year. So it could be whatever. The earnings is not relevant to the with the dollar amount, unless they're saying no, it will never be. It could be above or below, even though you're depleting it. It doesn't. Alex, don't delete your shit. Okay. What happened? Alex deleted all his comments, unless it was mean, but I don't think so. Yeah, remember the 7 is I know. Remember, keep in mind the Kaplan stuff is tough. Okay. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. So again, what I said was I didn't mean to scare people, but like even Alicia said, I had a girl. There's a girl Jessica on here. She used to do this, and she was so scared about taking the 66 the second time. She missed it by a few points the first time, and then she felt it was so easy the second time. So my shit is anecdotal at best. Okay. Joe, yeah, it's a long test. It's 135 questions, so it's an extra 50. Remember, it used to be 250 questions. It used to be a 6-hour exam. You got a break in the middle. Thank God they got away from that. It's much easier to teach. Georgiana, no need to be nervous. You know your shit. Just take your time. Make sure you read the questions, the entire question. I can't say this enough. Make sure you read all 4 answers. If you're taking the 7 or the SIE or the 63 or 66 or the 6, make sure that you read every single question on the exam before you answer it. So like if you see A, B, C, D and you think B looks good, make sure you read C and D first. You have to do that. And if you're taking it in person, I will always say, take the pad. It's a crappy whiteboardy shit, okay? It's not even the paper and pen anymore. Write the word accept on top, and every time you see a not or an accept question, you put your hand off the mouse and put it on that word so it reminds you it's an accept question. It'll save you like 4 or 5 times. Georgiana, you're going to be fine. Get some sleep. Okay. Yep. And it's true. Right. Oh, Morgan Stanley does not give a third chance. Okay. We'll talk about that. Okay. Yeah. HSA comes out of your paycheck. Yep. Okay. I don't know. If they get rid of the Roth, a lot of people are going to be pissed. Joe, if the government gets rid of the Roth, a lot of people are going to be very mad. Because here's the thing: the Roth IRA is technically for people on the lower end of the income thing. Okay. Okay. We'll get there. Okay. All right. No question. Yeah, I agree. So she's taking it very soon. So hopefully she's not taking any. Yeah, that's the thing, Joe. I do think you can roll. Okay. There you go. There you go, Alex. Perfect. I love it. See, that's a great group. We all help each other out. We're going to go with the HSA rolls over. Okay. Isn't it funny how everyone, if everyone runs through, by the way, I'm going to do it, but you have to go find my TikTok. I did all the rule numbers. I did it better, but I'll go through the bow. I will do it now. I have no problem doing it because it doesn't take that long. Find my TikTok or my short and watch it. It's there. I do the same thing. Okay. I know Joe wants the option questions. Kalisa wants the munis. You never know. Maybe you will not get a lot of option questions. You never know. Okay. What did I say I was going to do? I'm going to go through the rules in 1 second. Amanda. So yeah, because Ruben, the reason they would ask questions on that is because you're doing a financial plan and you have to understand retirement accounts. That's why. It's cruel, but okay. You will. Okay. So now, Amanda, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to head to the rules for both. Make you wait and stay on and increase my watch time. Right? Okay. So for the SIE and the Series 7 and the 6, you will absolutely get this quest. Okay. So now, an interval fund is like a mutual fund. Okay. Is a mutual fund that has limited times when you can redeem it. Like normally a mutual fund, you can redeem it every day. At the end of the day, you can just freaking redeem it. Okay. Boom, you get out of it. End of the day. Interval funds is no. They may do more risky, less liquid securities. Hold on, let me do this. So what's going to happen is they will say, okay, you can only redeem on like every third week or every 6 months or every quarter, whatever it is. So you're stuck in this. You have liquidity risk because you can't get out of this mutual fund. So an interval fund is where there's a limit to how much you can get out of it. And I didn't know this. I mean, I've never dealt with them, but a lot of people said they heard about it, so I had to do some research. So an interval fund buys more, they invest in more illiquid securities maybe, so they put a limit on when you can redeem. Instead of doing it every day, they do it maybe every quarter or something like that. Okay. On the BDC, Business Development Corporations, it's a closed-end fund. Like if you've ever heard of a PE or venture capitalist, they buy small and medium-sized companies, shitty companies, and bring them public. Like I'm always waiting for the phone call from me. Take me public. The BDC, and only remember, they're like hedge funds, so only accredited investors can buy and stuff like that. Guys, if you like what I'm doing, hit share and like. Share this out. Tell people that I'm on here. I'm on here for at least another 20 minutes or so. So anyone you know taking the test, get them on here. Now, a BDC is a business development corporation. It's a closed-end fund that allows normal investors. Now, granted, they should be sophisticated enough to understand it, but the BDC is liquid because it's a closed-end fund, and they do the same thing PE firms do. They buy small and medium-sized companies to bring them public. So they're higher risk. They're higher risk, but the actual BDC is pretty liquid. That's the differences. Okay, so now let's do this. Okay. Rule 144 is if you buy shares under Reg D or whatever it is, 144 covers two types of things. One, restricted shares, which is Reg D, where it says you can't sell the shares for the first 6 months, and then after 6 months, you can do whatever you want. So if you buy Regulation D, you have a 6-month holding period and then sell whatever you want, okay? The other part of 144 is for control people. What are control people? The pods, partners, officers, directors, and 10% owners. Okay, those are pods, okay? Partners, officers, directors, and 10% more owners. They have to follow 144 rules. So when they have their own stock, they do not have a holding period, but they have a restriction. And remember, 144. So remember, you buy your partner. So if Zuckerberg has shares of Facebook, he wants to sell them, he has to fill out a 144, and it's going to say, okay, how much can you sell? It's going to say, okay, there's two things. One, it's the greater. Remember, the greater of the 1% of the outstanding or the 4 weeks trading volume 4 times a year. So let's talk about this. So it's in the rule number, which is awesome. 144. The greater of 1% of the of the outstanding shares, or the 4 weeks trading volume 4 times a year, which is every 90 days. So again, 1% of the assets, 4 weeks trading volume, 4 every 90 days, 4 times a year. So if you're a control person, you have to follow those rules. That, again, if you're over 10% or a partner, officer, director, you have no holding period, you have to follow the rules. The other part of 144, what I just mentioned, is if you're restricted, meaning they won't let you sell it for the first 6 months, and then after the 6 months is over, the transfer agent takes the 144 stamp off of it, and then you can sell your shares as much as you want. That's 144. 144A is an exemption to 144, meaning that you can't sell your shares in the first 6 months. Boom, you're locked in. It sucks. You want to get out. You can't sell it because they don't want you screwing over grandma in the first 6 months, which is the riskiest time of the company. But they will let you to sell to people who don't need your protection. So FINRA protects retail, SEC protects retail. So they have this group called QIBs, QIBs, Qualified Institutional Buyers. What the hell are they? They are institutions that manage money of at least $100 million. They're QIBs. They're sophisticated. The idea is that they can do their own research and defend themselves. So under 144A, you are allowed to sell to QIBs during the first 6 months when normally you couldn't. I'm 12 minutes behind. Now, 147 is if intrastate, in one state. So all the investors have to be in one state. And the 147 rules means that it is exempt from SEC registration. If you're taking the 63, you'll know 147 is a qualification. So I'm going to go public in New Jersey. I'm only going to sell to New Jersey people. I don't have to register with SEC because I'm inside my state lines. That's what 147 is. It's also known as a qualification for the Series 63, 65, and 66. Hope that helps, Bo. But I did a video where I'll go down through all the regs. I think I have as a short, and then I have it on TikTok. Okay. Okay. Oh, now they consider what I want. I need you to go through. Did I send you? I thought Kelly said, I don't know if I sent you the STC book. You need to start doing questions on. So what did I think I sent you some stuff. You need to start working on those. Okay. I would focus on reading for the first, watch my videos, read the book, do some quizzes and stuff like that. I think that's the best way. Okay. We'll also talk Sunday too. Okay. Okay. So Thomas, Mr. Cardwell. So remember this. Munis and corporates are 3360. Say it with me. Munis and corporates are 3360. T+2. And treasuries are T+1. So basically everything is 3360 T+2, except for treasuries, which is actual T+1. Just try to remember the munis and corporates are 3360 T+2. Okay. If you're getting 80s on the quizzes after reading a unit, do you think I have a good grasp on the chapter? Yes. Anything over 75, you're good. Okay. So again, anything over 70, yeah, perfect, Mandy. I love it. Anything over 75, you have a grasp. And then started to oh, got it. Okay, got it, Alex. I just read your answer. That's fine. So just making sure you weren't like, because some people delete stuff when they're embarrassed about saying something stupid, but we're kind of here. It's a safe space. I mean, I'm a dick, but yeah, look, Rachel, you're in good place. If you're in the 80s on Kaplan stuff, I think it's Kaplan. Yeah, if you're in Kaplan, you're good. See how you do on the finals. Also, according to Michael Weiss, who's more of a Kaplan guy, and I think Dean, you're better off once you do this simulated ones, start doing the QBank ones, because you'll get questions you haven't seen before. That's big. Okay. I almost got to 40 subscribers. It almost went 40 people on here. That'd have been overwhelming for me. I would have had a heart attack. Okay. Last score is 68. Okay. Yeah, on Kaplan, yes, you're in a great range. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Matt, that's awesome. Kaplan plus achievable. Yeah, you're in good shape. Okay. Yes, Bo, I think that's fine. Again, we want to get it up. So maybe if you done my videos online? Have you done where I do the videos where I do the where I have 3 of them where I take a STC exam, I take achievable, and then I take the FINRA one. If you do well on those, you should be fine. Okay. 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 Yeah, I agree, Kalisa. I 100% agree that if you're in that range on the Kaplan, you're good, because Kaplan goes too deep. So Pat, I got my final attempt. Oof. Okay, tomorrow morning, and you have been a great help. Okay, awesome. I'm happy to help. Okay. So hope you feel better about the options now if it's tomorrow. Okay. So Pat, look. The whole thing is, remember this: get sleep. I can't say this enough. You got to get sleep. Take your time. And the other thing is, like I say, when you sit down, write down the word accept on top of the paper and put your hand on it. So every time you see an accept question, you'll have to take your hand off the pad to do that. The other part of this is, before you hit submit, just go back and read the first 10 questions. Only change them if they're really, really fucking wrong. But you got to make sure you got to go through, because that's when you're the most nervous. The first 5 or 10 questions is when you're the most nervous. So maybe that's when you just go review them and make sure that you're in good shape. Okay. But you're gonna listen. If you got close the last 2 times, the third one usually tends to be an easier one, as long as you take your time. Okay. I have a couple people at work who are starting the study plans. I did everything Kaplan. Okay, I like Kaplan better than yeah, I can do that, Pat. I can do the moral obligation. Yes, so I'll do the double barrel at the same time, because I like to do them together. I'm still 12 minutes behind. I can't believe I'm so far behind. I have a couple of people at work who are starting their study plans. I think Kaplan's better than training consultants. So if you're worried that you're not doing enough, Kaplan's better than training consultants. The only thing I like about training consultants is their videos. Tina, as much as her voice is ridiculous, I mean, it's not her voice. It's the fact that it's slow. The videos are solid. They cover a lot of stuff. Okay. So if you're doing Kaplan, you're going to be fine. Okay. If you want to do training consultants as a supplement, that's great, but I think Kaplan's better. And if you want a good supplement and you're not minding paying, drop down and buy, you can buy that for like $160. You get the achievable, and it's fucking solid. Okay. Now, Pat, Moral obligation and double barrel bonds. These are revenue bonds. Okay. First and foremost, they're revenues. A double barrel bond would be like a hospital. If a local town had a hospital through a revenue, you can't really let it fail. So let's say, okay, let's make it a double barrel. And if the town, and if for some reason, like with COVID, the hospitals weren't making money, they still have to make their bond payments so they can use ad valorem taxes to get the money to pay their taxes. That's that's a double barrel. It's a revenue with a geo kicker, as I say, and it needs voter approval before they issue it because the people in the town are taking on a liability. Moral obligation would be more like a stadium or like maybe an airport or like the Jacob Javits Convention Center. They should be making money, and if they don't, they will ask the town to help, and then the town legislator will vote. The legislative body, the town senators, council members, will vote on whether to say yes or no, but they can say no. Double barrel, they must say yes. Moral obligation, meaning it's an automatic, and moral obligation, they can actually say no. And if they ask what the safest bond is, double barrel safer, but escrow to maturity bonds are the safest because they have treasuries backing them. Okay. Hope that helps, Pat. Even though you asked it like 15 minutes ago, you're probably asleep already. Okay. Georgiana, you are going to nail this thing. I'm telling you. You're going to know. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's usually Morgan Stanley gives you 2 chances. They usually give you like 1 or 2 chances on the 7 and then they give you 3 total, right? So either 2 on the 7 and 1 on the 66 or 1 on the 7 and 2 on the 66. They are changing it. Okay. Bonnie, that's right. I remember you saw that. I always try to tell people when they're going to start working for the big firms, if you know you're getting it, try to get the SIE done before you start. Even the 66, get an attempt under your belt because then you can take those without getting sponsored. Okay. Oh, Lacey, that's awesome. Okay. Oh, you're trying to help them. I get it. Okay. So that's awesome. I think training consultants isn't enough. I think they kind of need more. Okay. Yeah, Kalisa, I love your shit. I love your stuff. You were gonna nail you. I promise you, we're gonna get you past this. Okay. So let's see. Well, Tansum, you must need glasses, Kalisa. Ask my family. That's not happening. Okay. So let's do this. So Ruben, Lacey, that's really nice of you to help people out. But I think if they can get Kaplan or Joe C, you can't be. I agree with you, but I'm deleting that in case I have to mute this. I apologize. Oh, I'm going to remove that. Joe, you can't be giving out spoilers like that. Luckily, I've watched it already. Guys, watch Billions. Don't let Joe ruin it for you. You know, I'm kidding you, but I am deleting that in case somebody hasn't watched the show. I love it, but my new favorite is Succession. And in like 10 days, the third season comes out. Okay. So Ruben, on this STC, I think the highest I ever got was like an 89. Maybe 91 on a good day. Maybe like final number 1, I got it. So, okay. But Kalisa, we got you. We're going to get you past this, I promise. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, that's funny. You can pay in crypto. My wife would take it. So here's a couple things, Bianca. So guys, I always talk about this late in the thing. I always forget. I have a program through YouTube where it's called a membership program. Okay. So if you want my options videos, so if you're Pat, no, don't pay a thing because you're going to nail this tomorrow. I have a $10 thing where you get to see my options videos where I change your world options wise. Then I jump onto the next step up is $25 a month, which means I do a weekly Zoom call for the 63, 65, 66. I do it 6 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. And for the SIE 7, I do it 7 p.m. on Sunday nights, Eastern time. If you do that, you get a weekly Zoom call. I record it and I repost it. So even if you can't make it, you can watch it again. It's a Zoom call usually, but the problem is, I have to warn you, sometimes there's 5, sometimes there's 8. I haven't had more than 8 people on it at any one time yet, but it could be. I have no limit on that. So it could be 30 people, okay? That's it. And then the highest one is the $100 a month, which is a lot. But that means you get all of that Plus, you get every other week, I do a Zoom call with a max of 2 people on it. That's every other Tuesday at like 4 o'clock. So again, if you can't meet at 4 o'clock, then don't do the bigger one. Just do the middle one. Okay. If you want, that's one way. The other way is I do one-on-one tutoring all the time at series7exam.org. Yes, I'm not cheap. It's $150 an hour. But if you want crypto, we can talk. But the next step down is you got not in talent. Well, I say I'm the best, so it has to be. But Michael Weiss is like $78, $79, 78, maybe 75 an hour, and he's cheaper and he's good. He's solid. And there's another guy, Jim Moore, who I'm friends with, a professional exam tutor. I've mentioned him. I don't think I've ever mentioned him. He's in the 78 to 100 range too. So if Michael doesn't have any openings, Michael is my go-to as far as if you're going to get tutoring, go to him. If you can't get me, and then if you can't get him, Jim Moore can help you. Okay. But again, I do this. If you need help, series7exam.org. And if you want to pay in crypto, we can figure something out. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Bonnie, hopefully you guys can hook up and get him in that group, because it's always good to have more than 1 or 2 people. And especially because Cassandra is absolutely going to fucking pass this test on Tuesday. She's going to be into the next group. Okay. Okay. If you take out a loan for 10 grand, is that an equity or liability? It's liability, baby. You owe that money, right? Okay. Okay. So I just gave it. So you can do that. You can also go to my website, series7exam.org, and get the information, or do the do this. Okay. Okay. I know it's on the details somewhere. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because you owe it. Okay. Alicia, can I please? The goat is not that expensive. I've been told I should charge more, but by everyone, but I don't. Okay, because I like to talk to people. Okay. And as I've told everyone, my rate is say 150. If I go higher than that, the dynamic changes. Because it happens when you get people who can hire up and who can afford more, but it also becomes very business-like and transaction. I don't like that. I like to have a back and forth like this, and it's it's very relaxed. Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's more relaxed. Okay. 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 True. Nothing is worse. Okay. So maybe back to this. So Kalisha, I love that. I love your help, and I love this. I promise you, we're going to get you through this thing. So now, can I explain futures versus forwards? So future. Do we know what futures are? Well, futures are contracts to sell a product or to buy a product. So if I'm a farmer, it's May. I have wheat that's 50 cents a bushel. I'm worried that the wheat is going to drop when I actually harvest it in August. So I'm going to sell a 50-cent future to lock in a price. Okay. And then if it drops, I'll just buy it back for less and I make that money. Or I actually just use the future and sell the wheat that way, or whatever I'm doing. It's a hedge. Okay. For the most part, it doesn't have to be, but it can be. So if I sell it for 50 cents and wheat drops to 30, I make 20 cents a bushel. I make that money because I'm locking in a price. The thing about futures are like options, there's a buyer and a seller, right? So the buyer of an option has the right to buy, but he can just say no. And the seller of an option is obligated and has to. The futures, both sides are obligated. When you enter a future contract, you are both obligated. You contracted to buy, and this person, you bought the future, you're bullish. You bought the right to buy, and the sell one is the selling. But you're both obligated to do it. Does it mean you have to do it? Sounds like it, but you don't, because since futures trade on an exchange, you can just sell the future. If you bought it, you can just sell it, or if you sold it, you can just buy it out. It's called offsetting, so you can get rid of it to another person. So here's your contract, the buyer and the seller. You want out, you sell it. Somebody else will come in and take the obligation, but it's always going to be some sort of contract. Futures are liquid; they're standardized, which is like 5,000 bushels, 100 troy ounces, 100 barrels of oil, whatever it is. And they trade on exchange and they're liquid. You can get out of them. Forwards are the similar idea. It's still a contract, but you can't get out of it. The only way to get out of it is let the other person out. They're not liquid. They trade ex-pit or off the exchange. They're not on an exchange. And they're not liquid because they're not standardized, meaning that normal futures, say it's wheat, it's 5,000 bushels a contract. With a forward, you can do like 1,800 bushels a contract. Whatever you want. You can change it any way you want. So it's kind of the way that is. Okay. So again, futures are liquid and standardized. Forwards are not liquid and they're not standardized, and they trade over the counter. They don't really even trade. Okay. God, I'm still 15 minutes behind. I got to catch up. Okay. Good. Okay. So Victoria, which Kalisa, thank you very much. Okay. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, so Peter, again, if you take out a loan, it's a liability, not an equity. Okay. Wait, did I miss something? Did I miss it? Somebody saying something? I don't think I did. Okay. Okay, good. I'm glad you're still awake. Okay. Okay, for the 7, suitability. So okay, so which unit would you say is most important beside options for the 7? I would say munis and suitability and taxes. Okay. Munis, suitability, and taxes, I think would be a big one. Okay. Other than options. Difference in do you mean debit and credit? So a debit is when you spend something. Okay. So a debt is what you owe, and credit is when you get money, right? So credit is technically a creditor is someone who lends you money. A debtor is someone who owes you money. So debt is when you borrow. So both, if you take out a loan for 10 grand, you are a debtor, and the person who lent you the money is a creditor. Now, if you mean debt and credit, so there's debit and credit. So debit on a spread is when you spend money, and a credit is on a spread is when you bring in more money. Okay. Oh, awesome, Lacey. That's awesome. Good. Okay. Yeah, Ruben, the green light is a bitch. It's hard. It really is. It really is. Okay. It's true. The lattes are expensive. Yes, Eric, I do. I have 3 videos. If you go to my thank you, Kalisa. I appreciate it. So if you Eric, if you go to I have a playlist called Taking a Final. There's a couple 7 ones in there, but there are 3 where I'm taking SIE exams. Go take them. And what you do is you press pause and you watch it and you try to answer it yourself, and then you hit play to see how I answer it. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you, Bianca. Okay. Pay one share Home Depot. I don't even know Home Depot's trading. Okay. Um, I'm gonna start getting like alternative pay things. Okay. So okay, so Mandy. So we got this. You're taking the 7. You should be taking finals every day until like Tuesday. So you take them. So everyone who's taking the test, other than Pat, because he should be going to sleep soon. If you're taking the test in the next week, you take finals every day, but it's not just take them and take them. You take one in the morning, maybe closed book or open book. If you're taking it in person, take it with a mask on to practice, and then review the damn test. Hey, I'm only 9 minutes behind now. So then you review the test, okay? So you review everything, and then anything you score low on, reread, even if that takes a day. Then the next one, you take another one and do the same thing. Anything that will get less than a 75 on, either take another chapter quiz on or read. Okay. And then the day before is all about adding knowledge, reviewing, stuff like that. Okay. Good. Okay. Futures like an option, right? Futures is like an option. Okay. Boom. Thank you, Kalisa. I appreciate it. I love that. Okay. Good night, Alicia. Everyone go to bed. Okay. If you guys can't get in touch with each other about the groups, send me an email with the name of the group you want to get in, and I'll forward you to the person. Okay. Roy. Joe, I think Roy does. Even though Roy's kind of he's asking about succession. Wags already admitted he can't do any time in prison, right? So Roy, I think would do it because I think he's subtly like kind of a badass. Okay. But the Kieran Culkin guy, it's funny with Succession. As I tell everyone, there's like a point where I like During every episode, I like the character, then I hate him, then I like him again. Except for Kieran Culkin's character, I need him to die. Okay. I do think Roy takes him down. Okay. 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 Awesome. I know, Helen. I'm trying to work on it. I just have no time. I've been so busy. It's great. It's a good thing. I've been busy like for the last 2 weeks. I've been nonstop tutoring 10 hours a day. It's crazy. Okay. Okay. Mandy, don't sweat it. The chances of you getting that question are pretty slow. So hold on. Hold on. I want to hit Joe's for a second now. Buy bonds equals lower rates and stimulate the economy, right? So during the bad economy, they're going to buy bonds and lower rates, and during the good economy, they're going to sell bonds and raise rates. I like that. Okay. Besides cramming, again, Mandy, don't sweat Form 3 and 4. Just remember this: Form 3 is when you become an insider, and Form 4 is when you change your position. That's what you need to know. Don't worry about the calendar days. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. There's no math on the 66, maybe one or two. And even they took options off the content outline, but I always hear my students, at least every third 66 student says they saw one option questions. So basic, Helen. So basic. Okay. Not hard. Okay. Guys, I do have to go to sleep at some point. Okay. Yeah, and again, yes, Helen, any option question on the 66 is freaking straightforward. Okay, guys, I love doing this. It was a nice long one. We got a good stuff. I finally caught up to everyone, and I love that you guys are talking to each other. That's the best part of this, is that you guys are talking to each other and helping each other out. It's great. Makes me want to cry. If you like what I'm doing, reach out to me, series7exam.org. If you want to save a little money, hit up Michael Weiss at series7examtutor.com. Have a great night. I'm going to go watch some of the game. And if you want some free resources, me, you got Brandon Rith at Basic Wisdom, you got Dean Tinney. And if you want to buy some great shit, jump down into here and buy the Achievable. Go on Kindle, go on Amazon. Throw me 8 cents for every $2,000 you buy. Have a great night. You all good? Okay. Good night. See you guys. See you tomorrow, Ruben. See you all. Okay.